Hello wonderful traders, welcome to this amazing video. You will agree with me that one major thing that everybody tries to achieve in the foreign exchange market is to develop a strategy that actually works most of the time, because there is no strategy that is 100% efficient. Some people call themselves the smart money concept trader, some people call themselves the algo trader, some people call themselves the retail trader. Now, this strategy that I'm going to illustrate in this video is how you can properly relate the retail trading strategy and smart money strategy. If you can try as much as possible to understand the content of this video and put it into consistent practice to develop a system from it, it is something that will help your trading career. So without wasting much of our time, let's jump into the video and let me teach you how to properly relate retail concept with smart money confirmations for explosive and wonderful trades. So let's jump into the chart and see what we have on GBP USD. Let's go. So guys, welcome to this amazing video, and it promises to be an eye-opener. It's a video that explains how retail concepts can be linked with smart money concepts to produce explosive and profitable trades. And I tell you, if you can understand the concepts behind this video perfectly well and you backtest it very well, this might be a very, very, very good and formidable strategy you could implement in the foreign exchange market to make lots and lots of profits, right? And I'll just give you the rules straight away, and we can enter into the charts to see how I connect these confluences and produce very nice trades. So these are the rules. So these are the rules of engagement. Very easy. Of course, you know, one of the most basic retail strategy is trend line. All right, you see people trading trend line. Maybe price is like in an upward trend. The retail traders, they trade something like this. Price hits the trend line, trades off it, hit the trend line again, trades off it. Next time price coming to hit the trend line, they just want to buy, right? Without confirmation, they just want to buy because they see it as a dynamic support. Or maybe price does something like this and breaks the trend line. What do? They want to trade a retest of the trend line and just fall. Okay, now this is the basic thing that you do. Let me try to increase this to 2 pixels. All right, so this is the basic thing they do. Now what this strategy is all about is pretty much the same thing, but at the areas where you intend to buy, right, after at least minimum of 2 touches on the trend line, the areas where you want to buy or sell, you should then wait for institutional confluence. For example, if I am to take this trade around here, after price has mitigated the trend line, I must have to look for institutional confluences here. All right, if at all I want to trade break and retest at the retest of this trend line here, I have to spot out institutional stories or smart money stories. So this is the first rule: draw trend lines to connect visible highs and lows or retest etc. Now, at the point of price testing or retesting the trend lines, testing, which is here, or retesting the trend lines, wait for smart money narrative for entries. Very easy. Very easy. Let me move this up here so you can see perfectly. So I said draw trend lines to connect visible highs and lows or retest etc. Now, at the point of price testing or retesting the trend lines, right, wait for smart money narrative for entries. So I'm going to be showing you some trades that I took on GBP USD, and I perfectly connected very, very visible trend lines that confluences with smart money strategy, and it gave me a very massive and explosive trade. So without wasting much time, let's get into the charts to see 1 or 2 very nice setup from this strategy, trend line and retail strategy. Sorry, trend line and smart money strategy. Okay, so let's move into the charts. All right. But of course, definitely, you still need to understand the general concept of structure. I mean, what we can see here, price actually does price just mitigated, price broke below this low, and we had this last obvious supply that is storing liquidity just before it, and price is there to mitigate that point, and price has given a very significant reaction from that area. All right, so we are trading down from a supply, but at the same time, we're actually still maintaining bullish order flow, right? You can see we are also maintaining bullish order flow from the downside. We're maintaining bullish order flow from the downside. So price mitigating here, could have price coming to retest here to produce the next higher high, because we are still in an uptrend here. Or if price will eventually sell, maybe price will have to buy to this area. Price might have to buy, right, to this area, if at all want to continue downward, or we could possibly trade higher. So for now, we are still bullish on GU. But let me just show you these simple confluences that I trade. So let's go to a little bit lower time frame. So let's go to 1 hour and try to connect some dots. All right, and then you will see how simple these strategies are, how simple it is. Okay, very nice. So this is where price mitigated that supply, and we're already trading downward. So let me try to see if I can spot some things. All right, so this is the current position of price. For what I can see here, I can see very visible trend line from around this area, connecting these dots. Okay, so let me just leave this around here. Very nice trend line, 1, 2. So could probably be expecting somewhere for price, maybe retest this area. If it conflicts with the strategy, fine. Or maybe break and probably retest. All right. So at the same time too, let me see if I can draw order that I've spotted. At the same time, I can actually see this, right? This is a low, this is a low. Let me try to connect it and see if I can build perfect entries around certain areas. Okay, so I have this already. Very nice, very nice. I have this already. And of course, let me see. So we have this low here, right? We have this low, and let me try to draw it to this area and see. Let me also bring this one downward here. All right, so I have this. Okay. Then at the same time, I think I can also see something very nice from here. I can also see something very nice from here. So we'll just try to see possible ways that we can trade this, and it will give us very nice trades. All right, so I think we have some very nice confluences already. Okay, I think I'll prefer this. I think I'll prefer this. We have this high. You can see this nice retest here. I also see this. These are very good points. See this high. Look at this retest. Look at this high here. Price broke it. We had a retest. Price broke it. We had a retest. This is a very nice zone for me. All right. So I might now want to see how to spot for some very nice entries around this area. Right. So we have actually been trading downward. From what you can see from this up here, price has significantly been trading downward. So I'm looking forward to catching some significant sales, right? And see how things go. So for now, we might need to buy upward before we can now sell at any of these trend line areas. Okay? At any of these trend line areas. So now just around this trend line here, just around this area, and at the same time, so this trend line that I drew from up here, just around this area, at least I can see a very cool supply around there, right? But at the same time, I'll still wait for price to do whatever it is that price wants to do, so that I can see if I can spot an entry. But this is a supply right here for me, which is a very good point where this retail line I drew from here and this one from up here are currently meeting. So let's see what price will actually do. So mind you, I said once price has done what it wants to do, that is when you should now actually spot out for opportunity. But let me go to 15 minutes and see what price will do. So I have this as an area of interest, very okay. It was seeming more like a flip zone. After that supply, we had price traded downward. All right, so that's a very nice area for me. So let's see what price will do. So you can see what price did. So price actually came close to this area. And of course, from what we can even see from here, look at this trend line that I drew up from here. You can see when price actually retested this trend line, it was actually a buy. You can see that price broke this trend line and retested around this area. So it is something that I could have actually spotted for opportunities around here, okay? Of which this seem more like an inducement, right? For this demand right here and price bought. So you can see that this is like an institutional confluence around a retail area. But this is not so very clear for me. So let me just wait for this zone. So you can see price has traded close to my zone, right? So, and we have seen that price has even touched this area perfectly. But let's just see if we can now spot out for let's now see if we can now spot out for entry for a sell, because we have this trend line meeting here, this trend line also meeting here, and we have this supply right here as well. So let's see if price is going to give us an entry criteria around there. So you just have to zoom in and let's see what price wants to do. All right. So now price has mitigated that area there, which is even very nice. In fact, that would have actually been an entry, okay, because this is just so very visible. That could have actually been an entry. So you could actually have taken an entry from here straight, and your stop loss would have been around this area, which is around 29 pips for you to now want to target lower. All right, but let's see, let's just follow the rules. Let's see if price will give us a confirmation for an entry. All right, let's see if price will give us a confirmation for an entry. So we had price, let's see if price will give us a confirmation for an entry. All right, so we are still around this area. Let me see if I can go to my 15 minutes. So I still around this area. Let's see if price will give us an entry that is actually very nice. Okay. Now we can see very well that price engineered liquidity around this area just before retesting that trend line, double trend line, and at the same time a supply. So right, we have price did something like this, right? Price grab liquidity around this area. Price grab liquidity around this area, okay? And we can see our Asian range and what happened, price pick the direction of the day. So this becomes a zone I want to buy, I want to sell price. This is my first zone I want to sell price, because this is more or less like my first flip zone. All right, like from the Asian range, price pick the direction of the day after mitigation of what of this supply at this trend line. Let me move back a little so that you guys can see the trend line very well. You can see this trend line, this one right here, confluence with the institutional supply. We have this trend line right here, also met them at that area. Okay, so this was perfect. Normally, price, one would have actually sold from here straight, because this is actually very perfect. This trend line with this trend line met perfectly well here. But after price has mitigated it, we'll now wait for an institutional entry. That is the rule. If it doesn't give you an institutional entry, you shouldn't actually enter it. So this is one entry that I have right here. Okay, and of course, because of the fact that this is Asian high, I also have this area up here as an area of interest as well. Okay, I also have this as an area of interest, but this is actually my first zone, right? And I want to sell price from here, and my stop loss will just be around 23 pips. And of course, where do you want to target? You want to target, or you want to have an higher time frame target. Okay, so from what I can have here, I think very important place that I might want to target is price coming to take out this low. price coming to take out this low. But at the same time too, you want to try to take profit just before that low at this 1 hour order block. Sorry. So at this 1 hour order block, I would actually love to take profit around here, just in case. Let's say maybe here, just in case price wants to do anything, right? So this is actually my first zone that price presented, and I want to take trade from here. So this is around 150 pips, and we have this to be like 1:6 already. So let's go back to, I see my 15 minutes now and see what price will actually do around this area. So this is my first area of interest, and this area up here is my second area of interest. So let's see what price actually did. And price mitigated nicely. Price mitigated nicely. And of course, this is actually meant to sell because price has given us retail strategy confluencing with institutional strategy, or retail strategy confluencing with smart money strategy. And this is one very good point to have entered the trade. And let's see what price did. You can see that the trade was actually a nice trade, right? And price zoomed off, right? Price zoomed off. I can see that price actually got to final targets. So you can actually see my entry right there on the screen. You can see my entry right there on the screen, right? You can see my entry right there on the screen. Okay, so all these trend lines, they can actually still have effect in the future, right? So just take note of it. Just take note of it. Now, price around here, I'm expecting price to actually take out this low, but at the same time, it is a demand. So price could actually choose to buy from there. So we want to be very, very, very careful, right? We want to be very, very careful as well. And of course, remember we still have a valid zone right from this up here. So let's see what price wants to do. If we still have price coming to give us a confluence at any of the trend line areas. Okay, so let me go to 30 minutes and see and make price do something meaningful for me. All right, so let's play. And we had price started moving up. Okay. Now we can see another area right here. Why? This is actually another trend line area, like trend line retests. Okay, you can see this trend line from here, met here, and of course around this area. Let me just adjust it, right? Because you want to be dynamic, it might not be that perfect. So for some people, you might actually want to enter trade here directly. You might want to enter trade here directly, right? You might want to enter directly. This is a perfect entry for you, right? Look at this. We are purely in a downtrend. We have this high, price created a low, and now price came to mitigate this supply, right? That is confluencing with this trend line. This could actually be a perfect entry, like perfect entry right here, all right? So just give 16 pips, and of course, you'll be targeting somewhere very far. But at the same time, like I said, you want price to now usher you, actually usher you in, okay? But this is actually a very nice entry to have entered. 16 pips is actually not bad, right? So let's wait for price to actually give us a very nice entry, okay? So let me just play price and see, because we need to actually follow the rules. Excuse me. All right, you can see how price actually traded downward, okay? So mind you, we still have these trend lines around here, so you want to spot it out very well. So what did price do here? After price mitigated this point, of which you would have actually entered a trade from here, but I actually didn't enter. I wanted price to give me more narrative. So we had price tap into this zone, trend line, and of course we have a supply here, right? Where all these are liquidity, and price mitigated this supply and traded lower. This was the last significant low, and it has actually been taken out, all right? So what immediate supply was responsible for it? This right here, okay? So for retailers, they might have just called the trades from here straight, but me, I still want to see more narrative that will make me be sure of this entry, right? We have mitigated this already. We have traded downwards. We have come to mitigate another supply here, and I want to see a very clear move for me. All right, so let's see what happened here. And okay, we have price. Price actually traded downward from here, right? You can see price traded downward from here. Okay, so this becomes very, very nice. This becomes very, very nice. Let me shift my 30 minutes and see if I can have a very clear zone. So you can see what price is actually doing. Very, very nice. Price mitigated this trend line, traded lower, right? And of course, mitigated this 30 minutes base. And this is more or less like we have actually broken this trend line to the downside. And we are actually around an area of, let's say, maybe retest. And let's see if price will actually usher us in around this area. So let's see if price will usher us in around this area, because this is like an area of retest of trend line, right? Because we are still going downward. So let's see what price did. Okay, we see price. All right. So we thought what price is doing is actually something very nice. We can see that we already have liquidity building up around this area. Already have liquidity building up around this area. And so this is actually an area of interest for me, right? I'll just be watching price to see, I'll just be watching to see what price wants to do. Okay, this is actually an area of interest. Price is just engineering liquidity. And let's see what price wants to do here. In fact, price even traded much lower. And price started coming up. So, you know, price would just always try as much as possible to want to align to what we have here, because we can see another two retail line meeting around this area. Okay, so price will most likely, this is a supply, we already have liquidity building up, right? And that supply right there, join that supply to the front, is actually confluencing with another with another retail intersection here. Okay, with another retail intersection here. So I'm just very sure that we could actually have a trade entry around here whenever price gets here. All right, whenever price gets here, this is going to be a very nice supply, and of course we want to trade it down. So let's see what price did. Okay, we can see price traded up, and now price was not giving more reasons why that place is valid. Look at all this liquidity piled up here. Look at all this liquidity being engineered just before that area. A lot of liquidity right here, and I have that spot above. In fact, this made me to just set limits straight away, because I knew that price is trying to give us narrative towards this intersection here, because this is an institutional base, right? You can see what price did here. We had high, we had low. So this was the last unmitigated order block that is now storing liquidity before itself, just to validate itself, and we need price to just mitigate it and move down. So I was pretty sure that that is exactly what price is trying to build towards, right? And I wouldn't want to miss this kind of entry. So I have my limits set here. So this is where the intersection is. So price will play around this area, like it will mitigate around this area. Okay, retail has said it, institution has confirmed it, and of course you want to trade lower. Okay, I think I have a lower target. So my target was actually this base right here. My target was actually this base right here. So I was waiting earnestly for that trade. Nice. Let me go back and so that I can see. So look at the trend line. This trend line met here. This trend line met here. And in fact, this one almost met around this area. But of course, we now have SMC move building up around this area right here. Okay, last unmitigated supply, price building up liquidity for that area. My limit is set already. Okay, so let's see what price did. All right, so you can see that price mitigated this area perfectly well, right? And you can see my entry on the screen right there. That is my entry on the screen. Very nice, very perfect. And of course, we are still following the narrative down, and price will definitely get to our final target. And price got there in no time, right? Price got there in no time. Price got there in no time. So all these trend lines are things that you still want to keep, right? Because we can still have some very nice stuff. Let me just draw it onto the future. We can still have some very nice stuff, right? For all these trend lines. You can still have some very nice stuff for all these trend lines, all right? So you can see price has actually grabbed this external liquidity. Now let's now see what price wants to do, because generally I told you that we're still bullish, right? We're still bullish. And let's see if price will eventually trade upward. All right, let's see if price will trade upward. So, of course, we have price. Price started building up. Now, look at how price broke all this trend line without giving intent, right? Price broke all this trend line without giving intent. So we might now want to start looking out for some very important retest, trend line retest. Okay, so let's see what price narrative gave us. But look at this trade. It was around 1:8 trade, and let's just follow the narrative to the current position of price. Okay, so we have all this trend line broken. Let's see what price tries to do here. Okay, this was actually a very nice entry around this trend line area. This is actually liquidity, and of course this is gap, right? You know, price is actually meant to fill in gaps, right? But me entering this trade simply means that my stop loss might actually be below this low here, and this around 55 pips is not so very clear for me. So I needed to wait for price to give me more narrative, all right? I needed price to give me more narrative. Then at the same time too, let me see if I can actually confluence something from here, right? I love the way all these are looking. So this is also very nice. Let me just see if this will present something nice in the future as well, all right? So let's continue. I hope my chart is not looking so rough. So let's continue and let's see what price wants to do. All right, so we had price coming down, right? So price broke this trend line, broke this trend line, and we are coming towards this area here. Now around this trend line, let's see if we can actually spot for an entry. Okay, so as much as this looks like a base, that might actually want to confluence around this area, I could take this low as liquidity towards this base here as well, towards this base here as well. So this is actually a very nice base, but at the same time too, I'll just need to look at all these trend line areas to see if I'm going to see anything, right? So this is actually, I will actually want to look at this because we are bullish for now, right? So this is more or less like price breaking. This is more or less like price breaking this trend line, and at the same time breaking this trend line. So we could actually have a retest of trend line and see if we are actually going to trade higher. Okay, so this is price around this trend line area. Let's even see if we might have like a break of structure around here, or maybe price will go and mitigate any of this zone down here. Okay, so we have this what's it called? We have this imbalance area, right? Or this zone area around this trend line here. So if price gives us a very meaningful entry, it will be a good one to want to execute, right? So let's see what price did around here. Let me go to my 15 minutes. Or let me see remain my 30 minutes and see. So from around this trend line area, let's see what happened. Price, of course, price traded upward. So of course, price traded upward. And from what we have here, there is actually a break of structure here after the retest of that trend line. So if you come to look at this very well, you'll discover that there is a break of structure, right? Can we see? So you can see London high took out the previous significant high. So this is a break of structure, right? So that means we're having a break of structure around the retest of what? Of this trend line. So I think I might want to have, or I might want to risk an entry around here. So this is the trend line coming from here, right? You can see this trend line coming from here. This is very important trend line. This very important trend line coming from here that connected this intersected this area, has played a very vital role around this area, and price is around there. So after price filling up this imbalance, price actually broke structure. So since price has broken structure, let's now spot for opportunities around here, right? So we have price of broken structure, and can now spot out liquidity built around this unmitigated base down here. So this becomes a very good area to want to enter a buy. All right, this becomes a good area to want to enter a buy. And this becomes a good buy area. Retest of trend line, break of structure, and we have price, engineering, liquidity before that unmitigated supply. And of course, since we are still trading upward, let me target this trend line up here, because we are still in an upward move, like higher high, higher lows, higher high. But of course, around these highs, I should have actually taken major partials or major profits. Okay, so let's see if price actually mitigates it, and let's see what price did. Okay, so pressing play, you can see that price mitigated that, and of course, price started trading upward. So we can see that price actually got to the final target, which is around 1:5 trade. And from what we can see, we can clearly see that we're actually now bullish. Okay, you can see that we're actually now bullish, and price is currently trading higher. So do we have any possible opportunities around here? Do we have any possible opportunities around here? Do we have any possible opportunities around there? Let's see my 1 hour. Okay, so we can see that price has actually broken above this. Price has broken above this. And of course, I can see that all this could actually be liquidity just to validate this base below here, this unmitigated base below here. So I want to actually draw this area of interest, and see if it gives us a perfect confluence with another trend line in the future, and if price will trade towards that area. So this is my next area of interest that I want to trade, and let's see if price will actually do something like this. Maybe price will do something like this, right? And come back to this area around this trend line, give us entry with smart money concept, so that we can now continue going higher. So let's play and see what price will do. Oh, so that is the current position of price right now. So that's the current position of price. So my half price still do some range structure kind of market and trade downward onto this demand right here that is confluencing with these two very important, what's it called? Two very important trend line, right? You can see this trend line coming from here. This one coming from here, meeting at this point. We have this one coming from here, meeting at this point as well, right? And of course, price might actually want to give us a very nice trade around that area. All right, so if we can spot out for a very good supply, that will give us a good sell towards this buy area, and we can wait for smart money confirmation. This could be another bullish move to the upside, right? So this might actually look very rough, but once you master the strategy, you should be able to connect trend lines very well and wait for smart money confirmation for you to enter. I want to believe that this video has enlightened you on how to properly connect retail concepts to smart money concepts to produce very nice and explosive trades. And I want you to try to take note of this trade and see if it plays out. Okay, if it plays out, come back to the comment section and give your comments in the session. At the same time, also drop a comment if you actually love this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel to get videos. Turn on the notification so that you can always get videos first time when I release them. And I wish you a happy trading life. God bless you. Bye-bye.